guys, as promised, I said I was going to do a deck profile of my Leafeon's Bad Gas deck, and I've had a little play around with it, changed a few things around, and I think this is what we're going to go for. So, Leafeon's Bad Gas, let's load this bad boy up so you can see what we're playing with. And viewers groups, maybe make it a bit bigger, large. Okay, it doesn't affect that, it just affects the top ones. Group trader table, let's just leave it at that. Okay, so this is the deck. This is what we have going on. Here are some utility cards. Sunkern into Sunflora, 2-2 on that line. Sunflora is absolutely brilliant. Sunshine Grace. Once during your turn before you attack, you may search your deck for a Leaf Pokemon. Show it to your opponent and put it into your hand. So that is one of the things I want to get set up pretty fast. It's got 1 retreat cost, so if it's pulled forward by a catcher, it's not too bad if they try to stall, but obviously it only has 80 HP, so it's quite easy for the KO. ×2 weakness to fire. Its attack is just, pretty bad. Free energy for 40 damage. That is a very bad attack. And Sunkern is an earlier sort of form. I mean, you can remove 2 damage counters, but it's only got 40 HP, so again, it's going to be an easy knockout. So we want to just keep that guy on the bench, and basically just need to get 1 set up. So I guess we're doing this Ask About Tit. So let's try and get the actual attackers, the main card from the deck. It's Leafeon. I run 2 of that artwork and 2 of this artwork. I do prefer this artwork, which is the cards I had. And 2 Epsilon. I'll get onto that bad boy in a minute. Obviously, Leafeon and Epsilon, Espeon, evolve. Sorry, need to get say its name properly. Evolve from Eevee. So its attack, Miasma Wind, hence the Bad Gas. Does 50 damage times the number of special conditions to the defending Pokemon for a colourless. So that's pretty cool. I'm running Leaf and Psychic Energy in the deck, so it doesn't matter what energy we're putting on it. Rather get the Leaf on, because that way, we can do the Soothing Scent if need be, 30 damage and put them to sleep. Obviously, sleep isn't guaranteed. So, how do we get those special conditions on the Pokemon? Well, we use this guy. Foongus into Amoonguss, 3-3 on that line, because I found 4-4, which is a bit too clogged up. When you evolve an Amoonguss from a Foongus, you get to use Spore Prize. Stupid play on words, but basically allows you to, what it says here, when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may use this ability. If you do, your opponent's active Pokemon is confused and poisoned. So that means 2 special conditions on that bad boy. So Leafeon is going to be doing 100 damage. The early evolve form is pretty cool. We get, well, not pretty cool, but if we get this out first turn, it's not exactly the end of the world, because you have Find a Friend, 1 colourless energy, flip a coin, search your deck for any Pokemon. So it's not exactly Deadwood if that one comes first, but the problem is obviously if we get an Amoonguss captured forward, 2 retreat cost, and again a bad attack, 20 damage. If you flip a coin, there's 30 more if you get a head for a leaf and a colour, so that's pretty bad. And again, it's got the weakness to fire and only 90 HP. So you may be thinking, oh, you only do this 3 times. But no, you cannot do this 3 times, because in our supporter cards we have Super Scoop Up. Super Scoop Up. Super Scoop Up. Flip a coin. If head, put one of your Pokemon and all cards attached to it into your hand. So we evolve ourselves an Amoonguss, we poison and confuse our active, and before we attack, if we've got Scoop Up in hand, then we try and do the Scoop Up. It does rely on coins, so obviously it's flippy, so 50% chance of it failing. I'll say this deck isn't tier 1, it's just a bit of fun. So if we get this off and we get the heads, both Amoonguss and Foongus go back into hand, we can drop the Foongus back on the bench, ready to drop down Foongus the next turn. I do also run 2 Seeker, and Seeker does a very similar ability, but it's a supporter card, but it's guaranteed, but each player returns 1 of their bench Pokemon. And the reason why I run a lower count for Seeker is because if I've damaged one of their Pokemon and they've then retreated out to the bench, and I have to go through the whole rigmarole of poison, confusing, and then hitting them again, they're just going to scoop that guy back up and negate all the damage. And also, it's a supporter card. So, if I've played an Oak or anything else, another supporter that turn, I can't use Seeker. So I only run 2 in the deck. I found that to be a lot more beneficial. Let's talk about Leafeon and Espeon. So they're both evolved from Eevee, and this Eevee is fantastic. 1 colourless energy, search your bench for a basic Pokemon and search your deck for a basic Pokemon, put it on your bench. So Call for Family, I love that ability. I use it in my Litwick Chandelier deck. I use the Litwick promo, which has Call for Family, which I will maybe do a deck profile if I start using that deck a bit more when they finally fix Ralts, because you can't rare candy at Ralts. So brilliant stuff. So if obviously we want to open up with a Pokemon Collectors for turn 1. If we don't, at least we can kind of get some basic Pokemon stuck on the bench. At least if we're going first, 50 HP, it's going to be quite hard to get donked first turn unless we're playing against a fighting deck. And I don't think many fighting cards I can think of top of my head can do 30 damage turn 1, for one or double colours. So you're very rarely going to get donked unless obviously you're playing against CMT, where this deck normally gets raped against, because obviously that is tier 1 and this is probably tier 2.5. But it's just a fun deck to play. Just sick and tired of using EXs all the goddamn time, even though I do put an EX in this deck. But anyway, so that's Eevee covered. And then we have Espeon. Why we use Espeon is because it's Pokebody, Evolution Memories. Espeon can use the attacks of all Pokemon you have in play that evolve from Eevee as its own. So basically, we have a Leafeon on the bench, we have Espeon as active, we can just stick one energy on him, and then Espeon can do Miasma Wind. But then why do we have that in? Because it is a Psychic Pokemon, and what is weak to Psychic? Mewtwo motherfucking EX. So, if that Mewtwo EX is poisoned and confused, and I just do one Miasma Wind, that's going to do 200 damage to that. So even if it's got Eevee on it, it's going to knock it out. So that's obviously really handy. And against other sort of Psychic decks, we're playing against a Gothitelle sort of like Trainer Lock deck, then again, we're going to knock that guy out straight away. And it's just basically, upping up the amount of attackers we've got, because he is, Leafeon / Espeon are our main attacking force. So we max out on the Eevees, and we've gone for 6 of these guys. So if one is prized, I've had it before with 2 Leafeons are prized, as you saw in the video I put up earlier. So if I wasn't such a pro player, I'd have been screwed. So at least with the Espeon, I do need Leafeon on the bench. So it's not particularly it's not 100% foolproof. But it's just great when that guy is when I do have a Leafeon available. Its actual attack itself is pretty poor. Psychic and Colourless does 30 damage, and you remove 1 damage counter from each of your Pokemon. So wow, that's fantastic. But at least against Mewtwo, it's going to do 60 damage to it. But I'd probably just want to put him asleep anyway to try and stall. The downside though, it has 100 HP, so it's a pain in the ass to get out. Obviously with Leafeons, I can use Sunshine Grace from Sunflora, and I can use Level Balls. But I can't on Espeon because it's got the 100 HP. So that's why I'm running 2 as opposed to 1. When I ran 1, I could never get it out when I needed to get it out. I did have a PCOM in the deck, but I didn't really need to use the PCOM. I do run 3 Level Balls. I have up the count. I did have Loss Removal, but I've taken it out to add an extra catch or an extra Level Ball. Such deck for a Pokemon with 90 HP. The reason why I've got that is just to make sure that if I've set Dream Turn 1, we're going to get out Eevee, Sunkern, and a Fungus. And then if we've got Level Ball in hand, turn 2, guaranteed Sunflora. It's got 80 HP, so I'm definitely getting that out. That means guaranteed Leafeon turn 2, or for anyone, guaranteed Amoonguss turn 2. So that's really helpful, but obviously, with 100 HP, that's a bit of a pain in the ass. Cleffa, because Cleffa is Cleffa, 1 in every deck. And then my last Pokemon I use, just 1 Shaman EX. It's just basically a bit of late game weight. Revenge Blast does 30 damage plus 30 more for each prize your opponent has taken. So as you saw in my previous video, the opponent had taken 4 prizes, so that means he was attacking 450 HP, so knocking out anything on the field. Again, weakness to fire, and the downside, it can be, it's because it's an EX, you can, your opponent will take 2 prizes, but it's just a bit, like I say, a bit of added late game weight. 8 Leaf Energy, 3 Psychic, because very rarely will I do. Very rarely will I be stuck with an Espeon out and no Leafeon benched, so I have to rely on his attack. So just got them there. And then trainers quickly. 4 Junk Arm, discard 2, get a trainer card back. 3 Level Ball, 3 Pokemon Collector, 1 Super Rod, 4 Scoop Up, and 2 Switch. Switch, I just like having 2 Switch in a deck, just in case if my opponent is just capturing to stall. Just get it out of the way. And also if Cleffa is asleep and he's done his job and stalled, but now I'm ready to attack, I want to get Cleffa out of the way, we've got Switch. And then with the spores, 3 Pokemon collector, search a deck for 3 basic Pokemon. Reason I run 3 is just because ups that the probability of getting it first turn. I don't max out like a lot of people do, because you're going to collect probably twice maximum in a game, and that means you've got 2 cards that are deadwood. So with 3, at least I'll up the chance of me drawing into it, and I've still got my Junk Arm fodder. 3 Ponts, because I prefer Pont to Juniper, and because this deck doesn't get nothing back from the discard, Juniper would be, a nightmare. 2 Seekers, as I said, and 2 Twins. So I'm going to go down first prize most of the time, and this allows me to find any 2 cards, so helps me get back into the game. And that's Leafeon's Bad Gas. So I'm going to put this video up and then try and do some live matches with it and see if we get any good games. So yeah, like, subscribe, comment, all that good shit, and catch you later.